are bold, you are fearless, you are radiant. It's time to unlock the diamond from within. BFF, we rise above, stronger together, we shine with love. Faith unshaken, hearts on fire, fearless souls, we're reaching higher. Oh, step in your power, step in your light. BFFs here, let's live life. Unlock the diamond within, embrace your glow. You're unstoppable. Now enjoy the show. Welcome to BFF Empowerment, where you embrace your beauty, walk in faith, and live fearlessly.
Hello, I'm Fearlessly Beautiful,
And I'm Black Diamond.
and welcome back to the BFF Empowerment Podcast.
So today is all about self-care. So we're going to talk about what is self-care, how you can just take care of yourself, different tips and different ways you can do self-care, and just basically all about self today. That's what this episode is today. So Fearlessly Beautiful, what is self-care to you?
To me, self care, well, there's different categories of self care, but self care, I believe, is very important, especially, well, it's important for everyone, but especially for women because we're constantly pouring out, nurturing, doing for others, and can easily put ourselves last. And so, it's not selfish to think about yourself and to do things for yourself and to put yourself first. And it's important to make sure that you are refilled so that you can give out to others and nurture others, because if you're in a depleted place, then you're not able to effectively help and serve others. So self-care is very important.
Yeah, you definitely make a good point. And also when you said there's different categories of self-care. Because because most people just when they think about self-care, they think about spa dates and
Mm-hmm.
massages and and all of that is self-care, but that's more so just physical self-care.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to self-care, there's also emotional self-care, spiritual self-care, mental self-care. All of those
Mm-hmm.
things have to be taken care of as well in order for you as a whole to be,
Right.
healed and, to be productive.
Yes.
So, for you, what is spiritual self-care?
For me, spiritual self care is doing like my prayer time in the morning, making sure that I spend time with the Lord in the mornings, or just not necessarily in the morning, but every day. Also, reading my word and journaling sometimes. Journaling, well, I guess that kind of goes into mental sometimes,
Hmm.
some aspect,
Yeah, it can go both
but
ways.
journaling, just to like get my thoughts out sometimes and release different things, because I express myself through writing. So sometimes I may not be able to articulate and say, I can express it through writing. So journaling definitely helps me, as well as worship, worshiping and praising God. So.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like what I do as well. I also meditate. So that's kind of where I'll do music, and then sometimes I'm in silence,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just think about my day, or think about my week, what
Mm-hmm.
happened, what could I've done, especially if it had been a bad week. you know,
Mm-hmm.
just and especially because dealing with my job and dealing with people and personalities, it can be very stressful.
Right.
So a lot of times I feel myself, I'm very tense by
Mm-hmm.
the end of my shift. I'm ready to get off. I'm just like, oh yeah. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm dreading, getting having to go the next day because yeah, when you're dealing with people and their different personalities, and me
Mm-hmm.
being an empath, I feel people's emotions and things, and it can be very overwhelming and very draining. So for me to meditation and prayer and just having some, reflective um time is very important to kind of regrounding myself and just, kind of cleansing and just making sure that, I'm taking care, of
Mm-hmm.
myself and not, overwhelming myself.
Yeah, that's so true. I can relate because my job can be a lot too some days. And I remember someone telling me to make sure that at the end of the day, I take like 30 minutes and just sit in silence and just make sure I release all those calls, like so that I'm not carrying their, problems or emotions and things that they've been feeling. Make sure that I'm not carrying that as well. Because, like you said, it can be draining, and so making sure that you do release that each day because talking to people
Hmm.
can be a lot. Like, yeah.
Yeah, another form of self-care that a lot of people, you know, as far as the physical self-care,
Mm-hmm.
exercising,
Yeah.
walking, just having those moments to just sit and breathe and just,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's part of self-care too. Yeah, the spas and the getting the massages and all those are great. Definitely.
Right.
But yes, just doing those simple things to release, any kind of, trauma or any kind of stress or things that you're going through. Those exercising and meditation and walking and those things can also help with self-care as well, and there are a form of self-care.
Yes, definitely. Walking and exercising can definitely help. I remember when I used to go work out. I used to go in like the mornings, and then sometimes I would go when I got off work, and I used to just look so forward to going when I got off work and just like, woo, I could just breathe for a minute. But yeah, definitely exercising is a great way to release stress and just like clear your mind and release things and either start a day or finish a day. And you
Yeah,
sleep.
that's the one thing I do love. I do feel like I miss because I used to have like my own gym, and I think that really like encouraged me to make sure I stayed getting, fit and things like that. And
Mm,
once I sold my house and had to sell the my gym equipment, I feel like my enthusiasm for working out kind of
mm-hmm.
declined, because I did like having the ability to go work out when I wanted to. If I
Right.
wanted to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I could. If I wanted to work out at 9 o'clock, I could. And
Mm,
without having that access to my own equipment anymore, I'm reliant on having to have transportation to get to the gym. Or
mm,
if I'm living in a complex that has a gym, like currently where I live, the gym is literally like half a mile away.
mm-hmm.
So there's no way I can get to the gym every day. There's
Right.
just no way.
Yeah.
And so it just, I guess, and I try like walking at home but to me it just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
I'm used to using equipment. Like that's how I like to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking inside my house is not doing it for me.
Gotcha.
And so I really do, we'll be moving in September and stuff, so we're, looking for a house, and I'm hoping that we find somewhere that has either like a street or something I can walk or something room
Mm,
enough to where I can actually build a gym again.
gotcha.
To start investing in, yeah, my physical health because I do miss that
Mm-hmm.
part of taking care of myself.
Yeah, I gotta get back into a good routine too. I had kind of started back like just at home doing like some cardio stuff, but I do like to get out and walk around my neighborhood. I used to. get on the treadmill when I was training for the 10K last year. But
Mhm.
and I will say the treadmill does help to build endurance, but I do like being out like in nature and walking. And honestly, I think being out and walking would help more, especially if you're preparing for like a 5K or 10K, because on the treadmill it's a consistent like it's consistent, but if you're actually out like running or on a trail or something, you're gonna have hills, you're gonna have, like curves, it's gonna be hot in some places. And when you're working out like inside, you got air conditioner, even though, you'll still get hot, but like you got air conditioner and it's the the terrain is the same.
Mhm.
So both of them are great because like I said, I enjoyed the treadmill, but I trained more on the treadmill, and then I didn't start going to the track like to probably like a month before my 10K last
Mm.
year, and the track definitely helped more. But once again, it was like a flat terrain, so
Yeah.
but I was outside and I did it a couple times, like in the sun, like when it was, like kind of warm outside, and then sometimes when it like cooled off. But I still did good for my first one. I beat my time, so
Yeah, and even like with the treadmill, there are, you can change the incline and stuff to actually help.
yeah,
It simulates, hills and slopes and
right,
things like that to help you get. I mean, of course, it's not going to be like, if you're walking on a rocky terrain or you're walking through
yeah,
sand or, different things like that. But as far as the incline and
yeah.
stuff
You
like
can
that,
choose
yeah,
to,
you can set that to kind of simulate what you're looking for. Um,
right.
so when it comes to financial self-care, because that's also a part of it too, is being financially responsible, making sure that you manage and budget and, set goals, financial goals and stuff for yourself. A lot of people don't realize that money and finances is also a form of self-care.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
what do
that's
you
true.
do to help yourself take care of yourself financially?
I would definitely say like setting a budget is very important. I'm in a class now with my church. We're it's Peace University, and we're going over finances and learning about paying off debt and different things. And so definitely setting a budget, paying yourself, like saving money, making sure that you're putting something in a savings, having like a emergency fund, and then having like another account with the 3 to 6 months of bills, for like a rainy day. So just making sure like taking those steps, those baby steps as Dave Ramsey calls it,
Mhm.
whether it's paying off debt or saving, but just making sure you're doing something and being intentional like with your money, but most importantly like having a budget and saving something every month or saving something out of each paycheck.
Yeah,
Instead of,
definitely. You can, enjoy and splurge on yourself, but make sure that the basic necessities are taken care of first. Make sure
Mhm,
that you do have, like she said, the savings and make sure the bills are paid. And yeah, if you want to go out and go to the spa or you want to go and get some
mhm.
drinks with the girls or, whatever you want to do as far as taking care of yourself, you can do that as long as
Yeah,
you
they
make
call it
sure.
fun money. Have your fun money set
Yes.
what you want to do. So, like, if you're in a relationship, your he money and your she money,
Mhm.
having your fun money set aside.
So I know there's a lot of times with people who juggle like different responsibilities and things like that. It's very hard
Hmm.
to basically embrace self-care and to treat themselves and take care of themselves. Like I know just for me, I do a lot. I juggle and I wear a lot of hats and it is very hard for me to ink out time for myself and sometimes I do feel guilty.
Hmm.
Um feeling like, it's selfish of me to want time to myself. It's selfish of me to, want to be able to do something for myself. I'm a mom to a special needs child. I'm in a relationship. I also have two bonus children. I work full time. I do a lot. We're doing this
Mhm.
podcast. So we both have a lot, that we do. And sometimes it's hard to find that time for
Mhm.
yourself. And then if you do, to do it without feeling like you're neglecting someone else because you're
Right.
taking time for yourself. And I think sometimes, yeah, I do harbor that guilt.
Yeah.
And even like my significant other, he told me, we were just having a conversation about this yesterday, and he was like, I feel like you have a hard time delegating stuff
Mhm.
or responsibility to other people.
Mhm.
And I said, yeah, I do. And I honestly can admit that I do. It's because I'm so used to not having someone to rely on. I'm
Mhm.
used to always having to do things myself. So it's hard for me to just let go and let somebody else do it
Mhm.
so that I can have that time to
Mhm.
myself.
Right.
So do you find that it's easy for you to, delegate time for yourself, or do you struggle with that as well?
Um, I've gotten better at it, but sometimes I do struggle with it as well because sometimes, like, I do get busy and sometimes I will forget. Like, even when I was talking about journaling, I just sat down and journaled one day last week. I hadn't journaled like in weeks. Um, and so I guess it's really like just reminding yourself to like set aside that time um too, because we can get like so busy to where we don't think about it, or you're just moving and going through your day-to-day activities and things, and you don't really like think about it. But like, even if it's something small, like even if you're not able to go to the spa, like just like maybe for you at the end of the day after David's in bed, like just sitting and like either play some soft music or something, just kind of having that me time. So it don't necessarily always have to be going out or doing something, but just taking like 30 minutes for me and watching like something that you enjoy, or listening to something, or maybe ordering like one of your favorite foods and just having it like for you. But just, doing something special for yourself or something for
Yeah,
yourself.
I struggled with that really in the beginning, especially once I became a mom and then I was a single mom at that. Like that time to myself was something that I really struggled with because yeah, I felt guilty a lot because I wanted that time. And
Mhm.
I was working and having to take care of him on my own, and I didn't have a village. I didn't have anybody to help. So
Mhm.
there wasn't any time for me. So
Right.
just to be able to take a bath was a luxury to me. Like I would
Mhm.
literally have to wait until he went to bed so that I could just go and take me a nice hot bath. And that was my self-care. That was the way how I would play music, or I would listen to a book, or, a podcast or something. And that was my time for myself. I felt
Mhm.
like I shouldn't have to always have to wait until he was in bed,
Mhm.
but that was the only time that I felt I could do that
Yeah.
for myself.
Right.
So, when it comes to like relationships, I know me and my significant other, we actually talk about this a lot. And we talk about, even though you're in a relationship, you still have to have time for yourself as well. You can't get so involved in your relationship that you forget about yourself. Like you
Right.
have an identity outside of being in a relationship or being a parent or being, and it's okay to want that space and to want that time to yourself, even when you have a significant other. Like
Mhm.
a lot of times, people in relationships, they will feel like because their partner wants that space or they want that time to themselves, that is a negative thing. Like, oh, there must be
Mhm.
something wrong with our relationship because you don't want to spend time with me. You want to be by
Right.
yourself, so something must be wrong.
Right. No, I don't think nothing's wrong with that. I definitely think, like you said, in a relationship, you still should have time for yourself, and then you have that time where you're together. And I guess it depends on the type of person, because like some people are clingy, some people are not clingy, and I'm not clingy. Like
Yeah, I can't stand clingy. I'm sorry. I
I
need my
couldn't
space.
be.
I need to
It
breathe.
just
I don't like being
like
smothered.
yeah, like I don't, I couldn't be one of those people where like we work in the same place, or like if say for like if we work from home and we work from home all day together, and then like we get our work, and then like no, like
We're together like
I
all
need some space. Like I
yeah,
need to
I need
come home.
no.
Like hey, I'm so happy to see you. You know, like because I hadn't seen you all day, but. Like, like a week ago, I need give me an hour to myself, please. So
Like, yeah, you want to
yes,
go take a bath? Can I come with you? No, I
right.
it for me.
Like
No.
like give me 50 feet. So yeah, I definitely believe that self care is still important in a relationship, because even in that, like if you're always together and you're always like with each other, how do you have time to like just do things where other people do things that you enjoy? And I feel like the other person shouldn't feel some type of way if you say I need my space. I feel like they should respect that. So
Because everybody needs their space. Like, and I think, yeah, people do make you feel guilty if you say you need space. Even with being a parent, they feel like you shouldn't need space away from your kids because you're a parent.
hmm
And I'm like, that's not right. Like,
yeah,
everyone needs their space. Everyone needs their own identity outside of their responsibility.
right. Yeah.
Um, so do you feel like there's like self care based on like different phases, I guess you may be in life?
Yeah, I think so. Because for a college student, self care may look different than like an adult
Mm-hmm.
or like a high school student.
Or a mom or a
Yeah,
professional working professional.
yeah, like it can be different. It can be similar, in some of the things that they do, like the physical things, like going to the spa, getting your nails done, but the other things could be like different. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of people don't even realize that they're neglecting their self care until it's too late. Like a lot of times, there are
Mhm.
signs that you can look out for that you're feeling like where your self care is lacking. Like if you're irritable, or
Yeah,
if
that's true.
you're stressed, or
Yes, yes.
um, you like you're just feeling tired and burnt out.
And that's your body trying to tell you, like, hey, you need rest. Hey,
You
get
need a
in
break.
somewhere. Take some time. So it's important too to like listen to your body, because your body will let you know, like, hey, I need some rest, So and sometimes self care can just be getting rest, like sleep,
hmm
doing nothing all day.
Yeah, like drinking water. I mean, it could be
Yes,
simple,
hydration. It don't
simple,
always
simple
have to
things.
be like something extravagant or expensive. Those things are nice, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if it doesn't always have to be that, because I remember I wrote like I think a self care like ideas list, and I included things for everybody. Like so, if you didn't like if your budget was tight and you didn't have the money to go out to a spa and get a massage, like you could have a movie night at home and order like your favorite food, or
hmm
like you said, taking a bubble bath.
Or
So
like
just
if you know someone, like if you have a child or somebody you live with that knows how to like paint your nails, you don't have to
yeah,
go to a nail salon. Like if you just want to feel pretty, you just want to feel
right,
that feminine, just give yourself a petty and mani at home.
right, yeah,
Or have someone at home, like your significant other or your kid or somebody.
mhm,
Um, so I do a lot of that because I'll buy like I think I told you about this. I think I've sent it to you. I've sent it to several people and they bought it. Like the foot peels.
Oh
Um
yeah.
that I
Uh,
do just, for the foot peel. And that's kind of how I give myself some
mhm.
self-care, when I want to be feminine and pretty and but if I
Mhm.
don't have the money to go to the nail salon or something,
Mhm.
I'll clip my own nails, do things like that, and it's fun,
Yeah.
and it's something for me, and it's something that's budget friendly. um
Right.
like sometimes I'll get my son, he likes to, basically, because my hair is so long, he likes to play
Mhm.
in my hair, and
Mhm.
so like I'll let him, and you don't realize how relaxing that feels, even though he's not actually doing my, he's just playing, and but that
Mhm.
actually is very relaxing.
Mhm.
Like, he'll be spraying products in my hair, and he's like, "Mommy, I'm
Yeah.
doing your hair," and I'm like, "Okay," but he doesn't realize like how much that helps me. That
Right.
is very relaxing.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, so even being creative, creating those ways, that's why I like it could be different for everyone because, like you said, that's relaxing for you, and something else could be relaxing for someone else. So,
Mhm.
like, we could have similar things, but it's also can be different things as well.
Mhm. Yep. Let's see. So do you have any like tips or anything that you would like to give, or any examples of budget friendly? I know you said you had a list of like self-care things people could do that was budget friendly. We already listed some kind of, throughout this conversation, but definitely
Mhm.
recap.
Yeah, so I guess like a few other ones, maybe like taking a walk, doing a facial at home,
Oh, I love doing those. I used to do those with like coconut oil.
yeah, I was like, it's products that people
Um,
you probably already have, or like I made a exfoliant one time with like brown sugar and
Yep,
olive
sugar,
oil and
oil. Mhm.
something else. And so just finding like creative ways that you can still pamper yourself and take care of yourself. Um, Without having to spend a lot of money, or even if you do like people, I mean, not saying that you don't like people, but just like having people over and like having a game night, that could be a form of self care as well. It don't always have to be doing something by yourself. But
Mhm.
like doing a game night or something at your house and y'all play Uno or play charades and get like some snacks or stuff. Um
That's actually what I do with our family. Like, I love doing things as a family, and for me, yes, that's self.
mhm.
That's love,
Yeah.
because I love being with my family and I love doing things together. So yes, we play game. We buy board games all the time. Like, our kids are 4, 6, and 7,
Mhm.
almost 5. And so we do board games with them. Like, I just
Mhm.
bought. We didn't get to play it because we had so much going on for Easter.
Mhm.
Found on Amazon the Floor is Lava game,
Mhm.
and we were actually gonna play that on, Easter, but we're actually gonna play that this weekend.
Mhm.
And I know that's something the children, that's what they love. They love the Floor is Lava, the Floor is Lava. So now that we actually have a board game, the Floor is Lava, that we can actually play together, like, it'll be a lot of fun for us to do something as family, and I love just having that family time, and just doing.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, I love like hanging out with friends um and yeah, just like enjoying people, laughing, having a good time. So yeah, my church family. Um but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I remember before you were talking about journaling and writing. That's
Oh
definitely
yeah.
something I do as well as a form of self care, especially when I'm feeling really stressed. I think that's when,
Mhm.
not saying that I don't do my best writing when I'm not stressed, but
Mhm.
definitely when I'm going through something. I feel like it really shows in my writing, like when I'm writing music, or if I'm writing a
Mhm.
story or book or anything, like, it definitely helps, and that is my self-care, because writing is therapeutic for me. It's very therapeutic,
Yeah.
whether it's fiction or nonfiction, or a song or whatever. um
Mhm.
so journaling is it. I've never really been a journaler. I've tried it,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It doesn't, I guess, click for me, I guess. I don't know why. It just doesn't. Like, I
Gotcha.
can never really get into it. I've tried it like several times and it's just, I don't know. I don't know
Mm,
why.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've always been a journaler. Like ever since I was little, I've always had like diaries and journals, and I still have some, but not from when I was like a little girl. I have some, I think, from like middle school and high school, maybe.
Mhm.
But I've always like journal. It's always been my outlet. And um, yeah, like the different color pens, like all of that. So like I've always been a journaler. And even with poetry, I used to write poetry like when I was going through different things, but now I wanna well, I'm getting to a place where I can write poetry from like a healthy place, like a happy place. And
Mhm.
not just when you're like stressed or in pain.
You know what? I just thought about something, and I think I see where it changed for me. So
Mm,
when you just mentioned about writing with the different color pens and things like that,
mm,
before I went blind, I did journal. I
uh,
was into journaling because I was
mm,
physically writing.
right,
I
yeah.
feel like once I lost the ability to see, the
Mm,
journaling didn't feel the same for me. Because, yeah, for me now, it's
mm.
typing on a computer or writing in braille or something like that. And it's just not the same.
It's not, yeah, I completely understand. Like,
So I think
uh,
now that's why I don't really enjoy journaling, like, because yeah, that
yeah.
just clicked for me. I'm like, wait a minute, yeah, I do remember, like, yeah, I would have the little fancy pens with the feathers on the end,
Hmm.
or
Yeah,
they
I
would,
remember those.
and I'm like, yeah, I did.
Mhm.
But yeah, once I became blind, that stopped because typing with a braille writer, or I mean, if someone who was
Yeah.
born blind and that's how they've always journaled, I think, it
Right, but
yeah,
having to
but
switch
for
to it.
me, yeah, it's not the same. I
Yeah,
can't just go pick up a spiral notebook and just start writing.
yeah, because it's not the same. Like when you write versus typing, it's just not the same. Like it's something about the pen and the paper and like
Yes, and I'm like, I think
being
that's
able to
why, yeah,
write.
I can't really get into it anymore.
Uh,
Because yeah, when like Apple came up with the journaling app, and I tried it like for a little
mhm.
bit, and it just was
Not
not
the
the
same.
same.
Yeah.
So I ended up just deleting it because I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
So more of
it's
my
just been for
journaling
me.
just comes out in my music or my writing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know that's one of the things I prayed, like even when my vision changed, I was like, Lord, please let me still be able to write. And so it's funny because it's like I can write in my journal, but I can't read it. So
Hmm.
like I can see the lines and stuff, but like I can write it out, but I can't read it. But I'm grateful to still be able to write.
Exactly.
So
Okay, well, I think we're coming to the end of another episode. I think this was a really good episode. I think, people will get some good use out of it, some good tips, some
yes.
just that permission to care about yourself, to take care of yourself, to
Right.
know that it's not selfish, that you're not neglecting others just because you want to focus on yourself. Because
Mm,
what you don't realize is if your cup is empty, there's no way you can pour into someone else.
exactly.
So you have to replenish yourself before you can give anything to anybody else. So it's very
Right.
important that you do take care of yourself, and however you feel that is, whether it's
Mm,
something fancy, whether it's something simple, whether
mhm.
it's, you got to take care of yourself, and you have to take care of yourself all the way around, not just in a
Yes.
particular area. Um,
Yeah.
it's full circle.
Right. Definitely.
So, is there anything else you want to, talk about or leave the listeners with before we sign off?
I'll just say make sure that you take care of yourself because you deserve it. And knowing your value and loving yourself as well is what contributes to self care. So look at it as showing yourself love and knowing that like you deserve it and you're worth it. So
All right. Well, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on all major podcasting platforms. Follow us on Facebook at BFF Empowerment. You can also follow us on Instagram at BFF Empowerment, and we are on Threads as BFF Empowerment.
and we
Don't
have
forget
the
also check out our website, bffempowerment.com. You can check out all the episodes. You can leave us a review. Reviews definitely matter. So if you enjoy the show, you like a particular episode, you want to hear us talk about certain things, definitely leave us a message, leave us a chat. You can also email us at bffempowerment@gmail.com. But definitely, if you want to be guest and spotlighted on the Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast, send us a message.
yes, we would love to have you.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and see you next time.
See you next time.